Darnell Wright for the Bears. I mean, I personally, I know he let up, 0 sacks in 20 games, but I personally think that Skoronski is just the better prospect. If I was the Bears, I would have gone Skoronski. I felt like he felt or filled out kind of like the Bears overall vibe more. Especially too, he's the Northwestern kid near Chicago. You'd think it'd be a perfect fit, but they went with Darnell Wright from Tennessee. I like the pick. Um, I just think that Skoronski was, outside of Paris Johnson, the second best offensive lineman in the draft.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I
Yeah,
had
agreed.
Skaronski and Paris Johnson as my two best or tackles in the draft. So I can't really justify taking Darnell Wright over. I mean, it's not a terrible pick, but slightly reached in terms of value there. But I don't hate it, as obviously they need to protect Justin Fields for the future, and he's going to do just that for them. So I really don't hate it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that pretty much covers those two. If we go on a Broderick Jones, I mean, it's pretty simple. My take. The Jets were going to take him. The Steelers
Yeah.
had to go in front of the Jets. Broderick Jones was like the Steelers desperately needed a tackle, and he was the last tackle that was actually like a first round value. So out of necessity, trading up, and the fact that they only had to give up a fourth, which they later got back by trading down in the third round, it was basically like they didn't move at all. It's almost as if they just finished with the worst record and happened to pick before the Jets. So Broderick Jones, I mean, he's the best guy you can get at that position in that point of the draft. So there's no knocks for the Steelers for that. That was the guy you had to get.
I actually had mocked. I actually had mocked Broderick in the second round of the Steelers, and I had them in the first round getting Joey Porter. So I thought that was just kind of funny how they did
Yeah,
that.
That's what I had too.
yeah, that's exactly what I had as well.
But
I, I,
also,
I
when you
literally
look,
remember that day being like, "Please be Joey Porter Jr." and it didn't happen. And then it
yeah,
happened the
that's what I'm
second round, and
saying.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be a great Steelers draft."
But also, like Broderick Jones, literally just feels like a Steeler. He's an excellent run blocker. I mean, pass protection was the one thing that I was seeing that he wasn't too good at. But run blocker, he's super athletic and just moves people out of the way. And they need a guy like that, especially since you know Najee needs room to run with Dan Moore as their former left tackle, which was one of the worst in the league.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
horrible.
And I think too, you look at that position, left tackle or any offensive lineman in college. Pretty much no offensive lineman and tackle or offensive guards have it all. Like there's always, it doesn't matter what round they get picked. Whenever, like, it doesn't matter if you're Penei Sewell or Broderick Jones or some dude that gets picked in the fifth round. There's something wrong with whoever you are. Like it's either like the footwork or the blocking ability or the strength, the size, anything. So there's all these intangibles that can be coached up on the offensive line. So I have no worries for Broderick Jones. Obviously he has his issues just like any other offensive lineman does that has ever been drafted when they're coming into the league. So, just clean up a few things just like everybody else. Get coached well into the system and, keep building that picket fence. And he was at
Good
an
one.
interview the other day. Yeah, I stole that from the
Kenny
internet.
Pickett, picket
But
fence.
he was in an interview with the other day and he was dapping up uh, Kenny Pickett, and the whole time, like Broderick Jones was talking, Kenny Pickett just had this huge grin on his face, knowing that this is going to be his
Blindside
left
blocker.
tackle, blindside blocker for probably the majority of his career. So, um, like I said, Broderick Jones, they had to pick him there.